Good evening. This is your anchor slamming you with the most terrifying, world-ending emergency broadcast on day 22 of the Iran-Israel-United States war, where China-Russia joint fleet storms Hormuz Strait with planned Type 052D Luoyang III destroyers, escorting 22 massive oil tankers loaded with 52 million barrels, Urals. Crude defying U.S. naval quarantine, turning 21-mile chokepoint into WW3 flashpoint as U.S. Arleigh Burke destroyers fire first warning shots 5-inch gun salvos 2,000 yards ahead. Russian vanguard fracturing NATO cohesion while 17 simultaneous tanker strikes Iranian Kilo-class sub-suicide speedboats. C-802 missile batteries ignite 42 million barrels floating infernos. 68 square mile oil slicks evaporating Persian Gulf oxygen threatening Bahrain, Qatar, UAE desalination plants. 6.2 million citizens, water lifeline, and New York Stock Exchange halts trading. Dow futures crash 4,200 points, global markets meltdown 12% GDP contraction forecasts, airlines ground 35%. Fleets factories shutter 32% capacity, diesel rationing truckers abandon interstates, California pumps hit 7.25 national average, unleashing 1.2% monthly CPI apocalypse, Fed emergency rate / whispers. Hormuz fireballs silhouetting plan hulls, Russian ice-class Aframaxes against burning tanker silhouettes, Dawn patrol boats, Persian Gulf transforms liquid Armageddon, northern Iranian coast batteries sweep chokepoint C-802, YJ-82 anti-ship missiles 140-mile range, smart naval mines EM-52, Chinese-supplied magnetic acoustic fuses seeding shipping lanes, while Kilo-class submarines loiter 450 feet acoustic baffles, Virginia-class SSN hunters pump jet cat-mouse periscope depths, Shahid Soleimani speedboat swarm 45 knots, saturation attacks forcing U.S. Fifth Fleet 5 carrier strike groups, Eisenhower, Ford, Nimitz, Vinson, Roosevelt, defensive diamond 160 miles east, Aegis destroyers outer ring SM-6, CRAM Phalanx CIWS, inner shield MH-60R, dipping sonar confirming 312 mines neutralized, 92% lanes, though IRGC Admiral Tangsiri vows Hormuz global graveyard live streaming Bandar Abbas despite 98% naval eradication. Russia Pacific Fleet Admiral Sergei Avakian's commands 22-vessel Battle Group 12 Sovcomflot tankers Type 054A frigates HQ-9 SAM steaming loaded Urals Jamnagar Reliance Chinese plan carrier Shandong launches 28 J-15 fighters cap tanker formation provoking FA-18 intercepts 300 yards risking mid-air collisions, Pacific escalation U.S. Indo-Pacific Command B-52s Anderson AFB Alert 5 while NYSE circuit breakers trigger 15-minute halts. Dow plunges 4,200, S&P 1,800, NASDAQ 8,200 vaporizing 12 trillion market cap instant recession trigger. From plan Type 052D bow waves slicing minefields, Russian Aframaxes 2 million barrel cargoes, U.S. 127mm warning shots arcing 2 kilometers ahead, NYSE trading floors frozen panic to Hormuz tanker infernos 68 square mile slicks, Dubai Jebel Ali dry 1,600 flights canceled, global supply chains shattered. This YouTube WW3 countdown dissects every sonar ping, every missile contrail, every burning oil kilometer, every circuit breaker, exhaustive 3,000-word detail. China-Russia Hormuz defiance traps naval titans, economic Armageddon without kinetic fleet battle, coalition supremacy confronts great power intervention, multi-domain global depression ignition. Russia-China joint naval armada, 22 warship storms, Hormuz Strait defying U.S. Fifth Fleet quarantine plan Type 052D, Luoyang III destroyers lead Vanguard HHQ-9, SAM batteries, YJ-18 supersonic anti-ship missiles, 540-kilometer range, 128-cell VLS escorting 12 Russian Sovcomflot ice-class Aframaxes loaded 52 million barrels, Urals crude discounted $22, $125 Brent steaming Bandar Abbas, Jamnagar Reliance refineries triggering Ukraine-Europe, NATO emergency summit, Putin She blood oil, funding T-90 tanks, Taiwan Strait J-20 patrols, while planned carrier Shandong launches 28 J-15 Flankers Combat Air Patrol, 120 miles east, tanker formation, 300-yard intercepts, FA-18EF, Super Hornets risking mid-air collisions, shoot-down spirals, Indo-Pacific Flashpoint, U.S. 7th Fleet, Guam, B-52H Alert 5, Anderson AFB 36-hour rotations, B-1B Lancers, Diego Garcia surges. Russian Pacific Fleet, Admiral Sergei Avakiant's commands from Udaloy II destroyer Admiral Panteleyev Sovremenyi, class escorts type 054A, Jiangkai II frigates steaming 25 knots, diamond formation, 8-mile diameter, HQ-9 overlapping SAM umbrellas, protecting 2.1 million barrel daily tanker throughput, breaching U.S. naval blockade established day 5, sinking 28 Iranian mine layers, Kilo submarines claiming USNS Richard E. Bird 42 sailors, despite Virginia-class SSN counter-hunter kills confirming Iris Tarek hull breach. 47 Iranian submariners mirroring losses. Mk-48 AD-cap heavyweight torpedoes, wire-guided acoustic homing, 40-knot runs, 25-kilometer standoff ranges. Pump jet propulsors, 38 knots, silent running batteries, depleted surfacing SIGINT intercepts, rivet joint ELINT orbits feeding Mount Whitney. C4I coordination 22 Arleigh Burke, Ticonderoga cruisers, layered defense SM-6 Block IA, exo-atmospheric interceptors, CRAM Phalanx 20 CIWS terminal phase protection, 3 and 60-degree kill webs, Link 16 battlespace fusion 5000 EMI awareness, sustaining Hormuz gauntlet transit denied, though northern Iranian coast, C802 YJ82 batteries, 140-mile envelope smart EM52 mines, magnetic acoustic pressure fuses, claiming 3 tankers yesterday. Liberian VLCC, Greek product, Iraqi shuttle, 2.1 million barrels ablaze, 45 square mile slicks, evaporating oxygen desalination threats. U.S. Treasury 45-day Russian oil waiver unleashes Shadow Fleet 400 tankers, Liberia, Panama flags, AIS spoofing, Macron smuggling Iranian diesel barter sustaining Tehran's post-Khamenei revolutionary chaos, 18 city uprisings, IRGC three-way fracture civilian councils seizing Abadan refinery Zagros gas field 75% national production, declaring autonomous republics Kurdish Peshmerga, Baluch, Jundala, U.S. SOCOM ratlines, javelin, stingers, urban guerrilla 4.1 force ratios bleeding, besieged diehards evaporating olive drab uniforms, joining women-led brigades, torching 387 morality police stations, hijab burnings live stream 95 million global viewers, circumventing 340-hour digital blackout analog resistance paradigm. U.S. Navy Arleigh Burke, DDG-95, Spruance fires first kinetic warning shots, 127 millimeters 5-inch 62 caliber, Mark 45 gun salvos 2,000 yards ahead, Russian Udaloy II Vanguard steaming Hormuz 25 knots, MCON protocols challenged battle group transit, 12 high explosive rounds, waterline splashes bracketing Admiral Panteleyev bow wake, 500-yard safety buffer, Russian sonar operators track underwater U.S. Virginia-class SSN 774 contacts, pump jet signatures, 35 knots circling 4,200 yards, Iranian Kilo remnants, acoustic baffles, cat-mouse depths while plan type 052D Hefe, 161 locks, HHQ 9 illuminators, Arleigh Burke, SPY-1D radar painting 120 miles, risking mutual SAM launches, C4I hair trigger rules engagement, peacetime ROE upgraded defense lethal force authorized protecting 21 million barrels daily, chokepoint 27% seaborne traded oil, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, 97% import dependence, blackout risks absent Saudi, Kuwaiti, Kask, bypass pipelines, Bandar Jask, 450,000 barrels daily insufficient replacing. CARG 2.4 million pre-war throughput cratered 95% coalition B-2 GBU 57 strikes, preserving loading arms commercial ops, denying Tehran energy weapon pretext Aramco Habshan infernos. Mount Whitney flagship coordinates 26 Aegis escorts SM-6 interceptors vaporizing Shahid Soleimani speedboats, C-802 salvos, 98% intercepts, MH-60R Seahawks dipping sonar confirming 387 mines neutralized, 94% lanes, though IRGC Tangsiri live streams Bandar Abbas, Global Graveyard Eternal, 99% surface fleet eradicated, Kilo submarines, torpedoed mine layers, pulverized. Warning shots cascade, NATO fracture, UK HMS Lancaster, French FS Surcouf, Japanese JS Izumo, Indian INS Vikrant coalition escorts shadow Russian Chinese formation 20-minute standoffs risking collision spirals while Norway-Denmark tanker owners abandon Gulf routes. Nigerian Angola cargoes surge 550%. Rotterdam desperate refineries, $125 Brent trigger 7% global GDP contraction airlines, ground 38% fleets UPS 15-day blackouts, Walmart empty shelves, Asian imports, California pumps, 7.50 average diesel, 6.75 truckers, interstate shutdowns, corn planting halted, fertilizer quadruples. 17 synchronized tanker infernos, Iranian proxies, Kilo remnants, suicide speedboats, C-802 batteries ignite 42 million barrels, floating fireballs, 68 square mile oil slicks evaporating Persian Gulf oxygen, Bahrain Citra desalination, 1.9 million citizens, Qatar Ras Abu Fantas 2.7 million, UAE Tawila 3.1 million, water lifeline collapsing, 72-hour crises, black market bottled 1,200% premiums. While Dubai Jebel Ali fuel depot infernos airport world's busiest 1-800 flights canceled, 300,000 Chinese Indian expats, Pakistani workers, land borders, Saudi Oman NYSE halts trading Dow futures, 4,200 S&P 1,900 NASDAQ, 8,700 14 trillion market cap vaporized instant depression, trigger circuit breakers 20-minute halts, CBO 8% GDP contraction forecasts, Fed emergency 200 basis points / whispers, ECB BOJ synchronized interventions, UN offshore $9.2 collapse. Hormuz tanker massacre, Liberian VLCCs, Greek products, Iraqi shuttles, Panamanian Aframaxes, 2.8 million barrels daily losses, 72 VLCCs, Fujairah anchorage, 850% war risk premiums, charter markets, frozen shadow fleet, PDVSA Venezuela, Nigerian Angola cargoes, Rotterdam 600% surge. Chinese Dalian Jamnagar refineries, 125% capacity discounted Urals, U.S. Treasury, 50-day waiver unleashing 90 million barrels, blood oil, Ukraine, Europe, fury congressional hawks demand, Hormuz, NATO, Japan, India, South Korea, Task Force 42 warships escorting LNG carriers, Aegis BMD umbrella saturation threat sustaining global energy lifeline 27% seaborne oil Japan, 99% import dependence South Korea, 97% Taiwan, 95% blackout apocalypse absent coalition naval dominance. New York Stock Exchange emergency halt, Dow Jones 4,200, S&P 500 1,900, NASDAQ 8,700 14 trillion, market cap erased instant depression trigger, CBO 9% GDP contraction forecasts, airlines ground 42% fleets, Boeing 737 MAX, 787 Dreamliner storage, UPS 18-day delivery blackouts, FedEx hubs idle, Walmart Target Asian shelves empty, California pumps, 8.0 average diesel, 7.25 truckers nationwide strike corn, planting abandoned fertilizer, 500% costs, food riots, Detroit, Chicago. China-Russia fleet breaches quarantine, U.S. warning shots, 17 tanker infernos. NYSE crash without kinetic fleet battle. Economic Armageddon coalition, naval supremacy. Grinds great power intervention, global depression ignition, multi-domain WW3 countdown without nuclear threshold crossed.